Caitlin Clark just made a shocking announcement that likely rocked the WNBA as a whole. Can we even pretend that most of you watched her carry the league on her back this season? Now that she's officially had enough, she's leaving for good. Tell me, honestly, can you blame her?
She struggled with physical defense she's faced at the professional level and voiced frustration with the league's officiating, recently telling reporters, quote, "I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me, and opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with." That's what Caitlin Clark said.
She brought a dead team to the playoffs after 10 years of being irrelevant, and this league didn't deserve her in the first place. Broke attendance records, increased ticket sales, and essentially made her jersey a bestseller. What did she receive in exchange? A cheap eye-poke shoulder receives a 6-point L technical foul, a label of rudeness, and unfounded charges of racism.
What I am upset about is like, hey man, your meal ticket is under constant attack. There's been dirty plays all season.
Do you know what truly broke her? What drove her to reveal this shocking information now? And what did she say that made it obvious she was done with everything? If that's the type of gratitude you receive for making the league truly watchable, I would also leave. Let me give you all the details.
Those guys, they're the racists, when really, y'all are the racists. The people coming up with excuses to hate Caitlin Clark and the new fan base that she brought.
Well, that was obvious from a mile away. The heartbreak reached its climax when the Indiana Fever were eliminated from the playoffs in a heartbreaking defeat to the Connecticut Sun, although Caitlin Clark's anguish had been growing for weeks.
She's just not built for the physicality of this league. And she's not quick enough to get away from the physicality.
With a score of 87-81, Clark was playing as if her life depended on it, scoring 29 points, dishing out 10 assists, and pulling down 7 rebounds. She was essentially attempting to lead her team to victory on her own, but her teammates chose to take a nap instead. As she was playing like a one-woman army, her squad was stumbling around, missing shots, and making rookie mistakes.
Kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league, and she's a rookie.
Tell me honestly, don't you agree with Gino when he said that Tammy Fagbenel's performance was practically a horror show? She fumbled so badly, making boneheaded mistakes like a shot clock violation at the worst possible moment when the Fever desperately needed to build momentum. In addition to standing around looking lost, she was going 0 for 3, handing the ball back to the Sun like it was a Samhain.
Yeah, but she needs to be on a better team.
But wait, because Victoria Vivian was no better. She was a seasoned player who should have thrived under pressure, but instead she chose to disappear. She only scored 6 points on 2 of 10 shots, and even though she was supposed to be one of Indiana's top scorers, she was actually clanking wide open looks that even I could have hit. Next, we have Kelsey Mitchell, the dependable scorer, who chose the worst time to go missing, scoring 9 points on 3 of 12 shots. She appeared completely out of it, hesitating, passing up shots, and when she did shoot air balls, it was as if she had stage fright.
Caitlin Clark was assaulted yesterday in her very first playoff game in the WNBA.
It hurt to watch everything fall apart while Clark was playing her heart out. Every time she made a clutch 3 or executed a crazy play, her teammates would simply trip over their own feet, pass the ball back to Clark, and give her that helpless expression like, "Oops, my bad." Her body language was telling you that every missed shot and turnover was like a punch to the gut. It's not like she didn't show up. She played 40 minutes of non-stop, high-intensity, all-out basketball, and it wasn't enough.
It's important that we point this out. One of the things that I brought up this morning in talking about Caitlin Clark is that some of the players, you want to use the word jealousy, fine. You want to use the word envy.
When the final buzzer sounded and Clark was standing there with her shoulders slumped and her eyes fixed on the scoreboard, it was clear that this wasn't just a defeat, but also a wake-up call that no matter how hard she worked or how many plays or shots she made, it wouldn't be enough without a team that could truly support her. It wasn't just the end of a playoff run. It was the end of her patience.
If Caitlin Clark is the quote-unquote savior, if she's the golden girl, milk it!
Reality is knocking on the door of the porta potty. The truth is finally coming to the light. The same light that is going to be dimming here in about 12 hours when Caitlin Clark is eliminated from the playoffs.
When Caitlin Clark dropped the bombshell that she was not just leaving the league but traveling to Europe, the entire WNBA practically fell out of its chair. That's right, the most amazing rookie the league has ever seen is packing her bags and saying, "I'm out." After all the pressure, cheap shots, and constant nonsense she's had to endure, Clark decided she needed to hit the reset button. This announcement came just days after the Indiana Fever's heartbreaking playoff exit against the Connecticut Sun, and honestly, it wasn't surprising given that she was leading her team to relevance while receiving zero support.
There were regular season games this season where Caitlin Clark drew more than 1.8 million viewers. However, I hope Kat Engelbert is ready for disappointment because there's a hell of a lot more of it on the way.
She announced that she would be moving abroad for the upcoming season during a somber press conference on September 29, 2024. You could see she was mentally and emotionally exhausted because she didn't sugarcoat it. She criticized the league for its poor officiating, lack of protection from dirty plays, and the constant criticism she received both on and off the court. It was as though she was laying everything out there, saying, "Yeah, I'm leaving because you guys made this place unbearable."
Let's put this in its proper perspective. When I think about Caitlin Clark, the operative word that comes to my mind is gratitude.
However, everyone must immediately realize that this is a financial and public relations catastrophe for the entire league, not simply a loss for Indiana. When Clark first took the court in May, attendance and ticket sales skyrocketed, and Indiana Fever games abruptly became must-see events. Her debut wasn't simply a rookie season, it was a full-blown phenomenon.
The Indiana Fever, all right, with Caitlin Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road. Fever averaged 17,000.
During her rookie season, Clark alone drew over 500,000 fans to see her play. One rookie brought in 500,000. Let that sink in. She wasn't just a player. She was the main attraction and the driving force behind the league's unexpected popularity surge. Ticket sales also skyrocketed by an absurd 60%, and every arena she played in was packed to capacity.
The most dominant team in the league, they can't draw 500,000 viewers for a playoff game. Atlanta Dreamers and the New York Liberals. Again, the Liberals. They supposedly have stars. Remember when ESPN claimed that the Liberals had the new Big Three? Dreamers, Liberals, 410,000 viewers. The other game was the Phoenix Masculines and the Minnesota Lynx.
And it goes beyond seats and bums. Clark was a merchandiser and moneymaker. Sal's, who had been dead in the water for years, flew over the roof as soon as her jersey was put on the stores. By August 20124, it had surpassed even legends like Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi to become the best-selling jersey in league history. Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the home court of Indiana, went from being a ghost town to the most sought-after ticket in town, with customers paying $200 for courtside tickets alone. In addition to creating history, Clark was also generating revenue for the WNBA.
But if you're not delivering the product and you're not making the revenue and you're not, giving people the entertainment that they want, then you're not going to make any money and your league is going to suck.
And now that Clark is leaving for Europe, everything is gone. The WNBA is on the verge of a financial collapse. Take a look at the numbers that Clark's arrival in 2024 caused Indiana's average attendance, which was a pitiful 3,000 per game in 2023, to soar to 15,000 per game, a staggering 400% increase. Her presence alone generated over $5 million in ticket sales during the regular season. Without her, those numbers would have vanished. This is the loss of a golden goose, not simply a star.
She's the golden goose.
Additionally, Clark's influence extended beyond the merchandise stands. In June 2024, when the Fever faced the New York Liberty on ESPN, the broadcast drew an astounding 1.5 million viewers, which is more than the typical NBA game on TNT.
I'm simply saying, the issue is about marketing versus basketball. The merits of playing basketball compared to the merits of bringing marketing into the equation to influence potential decisions.
Clark's games were drawing more viewers than the WNBA's previous reliance on star-studded matchups, such as those between Breanna Stewart and Ah Wilson or Sabrina Ionescu and Kelsey Plum, to boost popularity. After all of this, do you know what she got? Start counting on your fingers. First, we had Alyssa Thomas virtually yelling into the air that racial biases are the main reason for Clark's popularity.
Honestly, it's been a lot of nonsense. I think in my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. We had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And there's no place for it. And
she claims that the only reason people are crazy about Clark is because she's a white girl dominating a sport that is dominated by black players. Excuse me, but I suppose that scoring 35 points per game and breaking records is meaningless at this point.
It's an attack on Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark's the wrong face for this league because her fans are so racist. Where have I heard this argument before? Oh, Donald Trump may be fine, but all the MAGA people, they're terrible. They're the deplorables.
It seems that having the wrong skin tone doesn't matter if you're talented, hardworking, and dominate the court. What a farce.
She's got 14,000 followers. And it's really easy to ignore, and most people don't know who she is in the sports world. The only reason why people even know who she is because of Caitlin Clark. And she's still only got 14,000 followers on Twitter. She doesn't have much of a brand.
However, that was only the beginning. During Game 1 of the playoffs, D9, Carrington went to a whole new level of filth. Instead of just fouling Clark, she actually poked her in the eye, temporarily blinding her.
And this woman swats at the basketball and somehow decides to turn her hand down and her fingernails and jab them right into the eye of Caitlin Clark. No foul call. No refs stopping the game to go look. Is this a flagrant? None of that. Just everybody moved on.
And, surprise, not a single foul was reported to the referees. While Carrington is strutting around as if she didn't just transform the game into a low-budget wrestling match, Clark is out there staggering around like she's just been doused with pepper spray.
Your biggest star, your meal ticket, the reason why you have relevancy, just got stabbed and assaulted and nothing.
And Candace Carter joined Carrington in this twisted game, working on Clark's ribs with cheap, cunning shots that should have immediately resulted in her ejection.
That was on purpose. Is Caitlin Clark making too much of it? Is she exaggerating it, trying to get the call? You can think both things. You can think, hey, this is on purpose and it's a dirty play. But you could also think, is Caitlin Clark making too much of this?
While Carter is throwing elbows like it's an MMA match, and Clark is out there gasping for air like she just ran up Mount Everest, the referees are presumably too preoccupied scrolling through Instagram to notice that there isn't a single whistle.
What I am upset about is like, hey man, your meal ticket is under constant attack. There's been dirty plays all season.
Additionally, as if the physical assaults weren't enough, there are also cheap verbal jabs being made. IT wasn't the physical toll or the playoff losses that ultimately shattered her, according to Cheryl Swoop's grade analysis, which essentially accused the whole WNBA fan base of liking Clark simply because she has that blonde, blue-eyed All-American appearance.
Because it's Caitlin Clark and she can't do that game.
The blatant pettiness was the cause. The way that every foul against her was handled as an afterthought, and she was scolded for breathing too forcefully, but she hasn't purchased her tickets yet, suggests that the idea of moving to Europe simply struck her, and she should definitely do so since it's likely the best decision she could make at the moment.